Ladies and gentlemen, a man notices the presence of a woman in a room, not simply as an object within the space, but as a kind of mystery. He is aware, even if only faintly, that she holds within her a depth that is not always visible at first glance. Men, it seems, are drawn to this unfathomable depth, to the silent eloquence that speaks through her eyes, her posture, her movements. In this first glance, something of the infinite is suggested, something the man cannot define, yet something he recognizes as worthy of attention. When we speak of the first things a man notices about a woman, we often think of the obvious, the way she looks, the way she carries herself, the shape of her features, and the grace of her movements. These external qualities certainly capture attention, but they are not the full measure of what a man notices initially. There is something far deeper, something less obvious but no less significant, that men sense in a woman when they first encounter her. It is a presence, a quiet aura that emanates from her very being, that speaks to the man in a language beyond words. This is the first thing he notices. Not just the woman herself, but something in her that stirs his curiosity and calls him to pause. It is often said that men are simple creatures, focused on the external and the immediate. Yet in truth, men are far more perceptive than we often give them credit for. While their first glance may be drawn by what is visible, their deeper instincts are attuned to qualities that lie beneath the surface. What they notice first, in that brief moment of first contact, is a kind of mystery. The very fact of a woman's presence, her individuality, her energy, her way of being, has the power to draw them in, to make them ask questions that go far beyond the superficial. It is as though, in that instant, the man feels as though he has encountered something that he does not yet understand, but deeply desires to explore. This first notice, then, is not a fleeting glance that settles on what is immediately apparent. It is a deeper, more unconscious recognition that a woman, like any other human being, carries a story with her, one that has shaped her, one that remains hidden in the creases of her smile, in the way she carries herself through the world. A man notices this sense of depth. He may not be able to articulate what exactly it is, but he senses that there is something worth discovering, something beneath the surface that is calling him to look closer. In fact, men are far more likely to be drawn to what is not immediately revealed. There is a kind of paradox here, where a woman's strength is often found in her subtlety, her quiet dignity, her grace under pressure, the strength she radiates even in moments of vulnerability. These are the things that draw a man's eye. It is not the grand gestures or overt displays of emotion that he notices first. It is the quiet, unspoken qualities that emanate from her. These are the things that speak to the heart and awaken a sense of wonder in the man. Moreover, this first notice is not a calculated act of evaluation or judgment. Men do not, in the moment of noticing, assess whether the woman meets certain external standards of beauty, or whether she fits a preconceived idea of what is desirable. Instead, they recognize something more organic and authentic. It is as though they are drawn to something essential in her, a reflection of her inner world, a glimpse of her soul. This is not to say that men are entirely immune to the visual aspects of a woman. It is simply that these aspects, while they may catch the eye, do not define the nature of the first notice. What matters more is the unspoken energy that a woman radiates, the way she seems to fill a space with her presence. It is this depth that men feel drawn to, the mystery that a woman embodies. It is the quiet power of her individuality that sparks the man's curiosity. His first notice, in essence, is a recognition that she is not just a body to be admired, but a person to be understood. There is a hidden world within her, and this world becomes a kind of magnetic pull, drawing him in to explore, to learn, to understand what lies behind her outward appearance. This is the first thing a man notices, the presence of something far beyond the physical, something that speaks to him on a much deeper level. What is most remarkable about this initial notice is that it is not about possession or control. The man is not necessarily seeking to claim or conquer what he notices. Rather, he is drawn to the possibility of connection, to the potential of learning from this woman. There is an openness in this first glance, a willingness to be captivated by the mystery that she presents. This is not a superficial attraction, but a deeper, almost instinctual recognition of something meaningful and important that deserves his attention. Thus, the first thing a man notices about a woman is not just her external appearance, but her presence. It is the way she fills a room, the energy she carries with her, and the depth of her character that speaks even before words are exchanged. Men notice the mystery in a woman, the things that are hidden from the world, the things that are uniquely hers. The things that are uniquely hers. Cicero, for example, says this initial notice is less about physical traits and more about the aura of the woman herself, the quiet power of her individuality that captivates and draws him closer. It is a recognition that there is something far more significant at play, something that transcends the superficial and speaks to the deeper, more mysterious aspects of the human soul. When we think about beauty, it's easy to be swept into the idea that what catches the eye first is what holds the most importance. We live in a world that often equates beauty with physical appearance, where smooth skin, symmetrical features, and perfect proportions are elevated as the standards of attractiveness. But the truth, as anyone who has loved or admired another deeply will tell you, is that beauty is far more than skin deep. The first thing a man notices in a woman is not just her physical beauty, it is the radiance that flows from within her, a light that emanates from her soul and illuminates her every action. It is not to say that physical attraction is irrelevant. Certainly, the external form plays a role in the initial connection, but what truly holds a man's attention, what makes him pause and take notice, is the beauty that lies beneath the surface. It is the quiet strength in her character, the gentleness of her nature, the warmth of her heart that radiates out to touch those around her. It is the way she carries herself in the world, the way she treats others, the way she speaks or listens. These are the qualities that begin to form the true beauty that captures a man's admiration. In that first moment, what catches a man's attention is not just the smoothness of a woman's skin, the symmetry of her features, or the graceful way she moves through a room. No. What he notices first is how her beauty transcends what the eye can see. It is a sense of inner light, a beauty that does not fade with time or diminish with age, but one that grows stronger the more it is nurtured. It is the kind of beauty that cannot be found in the pages of a magazine or the latest fashion trends. It is something that comes from within, something that expresses itself in the way she holds her convictions, the way she offers kindness to others, the way she chooses to face the challenges in her life. There is a timelessness to this kind of beauty, one that is not dictated by the changing fads of the world or the superficial standards of physical appearance. It is a beauty that remains constant, because it is rooted in something far more enduring than outward form. A woman who carries herself with integrity, who shows compassion to others, who speaks truth with grace. These qualities are what truly define her beauty in the eyes of a man. The man notices this because he sees in her a reflection of something deep and essential, something that cannot be fabricated or contrived. Hence the subterfuge. This beauty is not easily described, because it is not something that can be quantified or measured. It is more than just the kindness she shows to others, it is the manner in which she expresses her own vulnerability, the way she embraces her imperfections without shame. A woman who is comfortable with herself, who does not seek validation from the world, but finds strength in her own sense of self, exudes a kind of beauty that is impossible to ignore. It is a beauty that speaks to the heart, one that draws a man in not with its outward allure, but with its authenticity and grace. And yet, this inner beauty often expresses itself in ways that are tangible. A man might first notice the warmth in her eyes, the way they light up when she smiles, or the gentleness with which she speaks. It might be the quiet assurance with which she moves through the world, not because she seeks attention or recognition, but because she is secure in who she is. It is in these moments, when a woman's inner beauty shines through her actions and expressions, that a man is most likely to be captivated. But what is perhaps most striking about this inner beauty is its ability to be a balm to the soul. A man, in the presence of such beauty, feels both challenged and comforted. There is something about the way a woman with true inner beauty lives her life that encourages him to be better, to grow, to see the world through a different lens. This beauty is not about perfection. It is about embracing one's humanity, flaws and all, and allowing those flaws to become part of a story that is uniquely her own. It is in her imperfections that her beauty is revealed most clearly. A woman who is willing to show the world her scars, who is unafraid to be vulnerable, who is not ashamed of her journey, these are the qualities that give her beauty depth. It is not in the absence of struggle, but in the grace with which she navigates her challenges that her true radiance is born. A man notices this because he knows that beauty of this kind cannot be faked. It is not a product of artifice, but of lived experience, and it is this authenticity that creates a lasting attraction. In a world that often places undue emphasis on fleeting physical appearances, the inner beauty of a woman is a rare and precious thing. It is not always the first thing that men consciously acknowledge, but it is, without a doubt, the thing that captivates them most profoundly. Footnote: a woman whose beauty is rooted in the strength of her character and the depth of her heart will always attract attention, not because of her outward appearance, but because she reflects something far greater, the timeless beauty of a soul at peace with itself. In the end, it is this deeper beauty, the one that radiates from within, that will endure. A woman may age, her body may change, but her inner beauty, the one that speaks through her actions, her kindness, her wisdom, will remain a source of wonder and admiration. A man notices this because on some level he understands that the kind of beauty that truly matters is not that which can be seen with the heart. but that which can only be perceived with the heart. It is this beauty that stays with him long after the initial glance, the beauty that touches something deeper within him and calls him to look beyond the surface. When we speak of subtlety, we speak of something that is often overlooked, something that does not call attention to itself, but instead draws others in with its quiet strength. It is not the loud or the dramatic gestures that first capture a man's attention, but the small, almost imperceptible ways in which a woman carries herself. Subtlety is not the absence of presence, but rather the presence of something deeper, something that does not need to be announced because it is already understood. It is in this subtlety that a woman's true power lies, one that speaks volumes without uttering a word. A man notices a woman's subtlety because it is in these quiet moments that he sees the essence of her character. It is in the way she listens attentively, giving others the space to express themselves, without the need for validation or interruption. It is in the gentleness with which she handles those around her, never seeking to dominate, but always ready to lift others up. These small, unspoken acts of kindness and grace are what create the magnetic pull that draws a man in. He notices these things, even if he cannot put them into words, because they resonate with something deep within him. It is often the quiet confidence of a woman that strikes a man the most. Confidence is not always loud or showy. In fact, it is most often found in a woman who is secure in her own identity, who does not seek approval or validation from others, but simply carries herself with the assurance of someone who knows her worth. This kind of subtle confidence is compelling. It does not demand attention, but commands it effortlessly. A man notices a woman who is comfortable in her own skin, who does not need to prove herself to anyone, because there is a sense of peace and self-assurance that comes with this quiet confidence. End quote. Moreover, subtlety is often expressed in the way a woman moves through the world. There is a certain grace that comes with being present without drawing attention to oneself, a quiet elegance that speaks to her inner strength. It is not the grand gestures or the flamboyant displays that make her noticeable, but the way she navigates life with purpose and poise. Javier, a woman who moves through her day with intention, who does not rush or flounder, but instead moves steadily, with focus and calm, is one who draws others to her without effort. A man notices this because it is not something he sees every day. It is a rare quality that speaks to a woman's ability to stay grounded, no matter what life throws her way. In the same way, a man is drawn to the way a woman speaks, not just the words she uses, but the tone, the rhythm, and the way she listens. A woman who speaks with thoughtfulness, who chooses her words carefully, is a woman who commands attention. She does not speak to fill silence or to impress others, but because what she has to say is meaningful. A man notices the quality of her speech, the way her voice carries a sense of calm and certainty, and the way she listens without judgment, creating a space where others feel heard and valued. It is in these quiet moments of exchange that a man begins to recognize the subtle strength of a woman's character. Subtlety also manifests in a woman's emotional intelligence. A woman who understands the emotions of others, who can read a room without the need for verbal cues, is one who commands respect and admiration. Her ability to navigate complex social dynamics with grace and understanding makes her an invaluable presence in any situation. A man notices this ability not because it is loud or flashy, but because it is effective. The way she brings calm to chaos, the way she understands others without needing to be told, is a form of subtle power that cannot be ignored. Familial, the word she used. Everyone says the same thing. What is perhaps most striking about subtlety is that it is often perceived more deeply than it is acknowledged. A man may not consciously realize what draws him to a woman at first, but he will soon begin to notice that there is something different about her, something that makes her stand out in a crowd. It is not that she demands attention, but that her presence is undeniable, expressed in the form of filling up the room. It is the quiet strength that emanates from her, the confidence that does not need to shout, and the grace that flows effortlessly through her every action. These things may not be immediately apparent to the eye, but they are felt on a deeper level, and this is what captures a man's attention. In conversation, in beauty, smiles, in speech and action, and this is what captures a man's attention. In a world that often rewards the loud and the dramatic, subtlety is a quality that is rare and often undervalued. Yet it is in this subtlety that a woman's true power lies. A woman who is able to navigate the world with grace, who listens attentively, who speaks with purpose, and who carries herself with quiet confidence, is one who commands attention without ever having to demand it. A man notices these things not because they are loud or obvious, but because they are genuine and profound. Subtlety is the silent language of strength and character, and it is this language that speaks most clearly to a man's heart. It is important to recognize that subtlety is not about being passive or invisible. It is about being present in a way that does not rely on force or flamboyance, but on an authentic expression of self. A woman who is subtle in her strength does not need to prove anything to anyone. She simply exists in the fullness of who she is. A man notices this because it is rare and deeply compelling. It is the quality that makes a woman unforgettable, the one that lingers in a man's mind long after their first meeting. Subtlety, in its quiet power, creates a lasting impression that speaks louder than any overt display ever could. The idea of a woman's character holding a kind of silent power is one of the most compelling truths a man can come to understand. It is in the quiet depths of her inner world, in the way she carries herself, the values she holds, and the choices she makes, that a woman's true beauty lies. A man, upon first noticing her, might be drawn to her outward appearance, but it is the strength of her character that keeps him captivated. It is in the way she moves through life, how she handles challenges, how she speaks her truth, and how she treats others, that a man can recognize the kind of woman she truly is, one whose character will endure long after the initial attraction fades. A woman's character is not something that can be seen on the surface, and yet it is the most important thing a man notices. It is the invisible quality that makes her unique, the force that guides her actions and shapes her interactions with the world. It is not simply her virtues or her morality, though those things certainly matter. What stands out is the consistency with which she lives by them, the strength she demonstrates in staying true to her principles, even when faced with the temptations of convenience or societal pressure. A woman whose character shines is one who acts with integrity, not for recognition, but because it is who she is. In moments of difficulty, it is a woman's character that defines her. A man notices how she handles hardships, whether with grace or with determination, whether she chooses to rise above the situation or retreat in defeat. It is in the trials of life that a woman's true nature is revealed. For anyone can be pleasant when things are easy, but when life is hard, when there are obstacles to overcome, a woman's resilience, her inner fortitude, becomes clear. A man admires this strength because it is not the kind of strength that demands attention, but the kind that quietly insists upon respect. It is the quiet strength of a woman who knows that hardship is temporary, and who faces it not with fear or bitterness, but with a sense of hope and perseverance that is both inspiring and humbling. What also stands out in a woman's character is her empathy. A woman with a strong character is one who understands the emotions of others, who can feel the pain of those around her and respond with compassion. She does not turn away from the suffering of others, but moves toward it, offering support and comfort. A man notices this because it is a rare gift, one that cannot be faked. A woman who acts with empathy is one who demonstrates the depth of her humanity, who truly cares about the well-being of those around her. In a world that often celebrates individual success over collective well-being, such empathy stands out as a beacon of light. But it is not only empathy that makes a woman's character powerful, it is also her sense of responsibility. A woman with a strong character takes responsibility for her actions, even when it is difficult. She does not blame others or make excuses, but stands accountable for her choices. This ability to own her mistakes and learn from them is a sign of great strength and wisdom. A man notices this quality in a woman because it is not common in a world that often encourages a culture of blame. A woman who can stand in her own truth, who does not shy away from responsibility, is a woman who inspires respect and admiration. End footnote. Perhaps the most powerful aspect of a woman's character is the quiet dignity with which she carries herself. A woman who is proud of who she is, not because of her external achievements or accolades, but because of the person she has become, exudes a kind of dignity that is impossible to ignore. It is a dignity that is not rooted in arrogance, but in self-respect, in knowing that she has nothing to prove. She does not seek validation from others because she already knows her worth. This self-assurance is magnetic, for it allows others to feel at ease in her presence. It is not in her physical appearance that a man finds himself captivated, but in the quiet strength of her self-respect, which radiates through her every word and action. Moreover, a woman's character is defined by her capacity for growth. A man notices this because it is an inherently attractive quality. A woman who is open to learning, who is willing to change, who strives to become a better version of herself with each passing day, is one who continues to grow in beauty and strength. This desire for growth is not about seeking perfection, but about striving for wisdom, kindness, and understanding. Man admires a woman who is always evolving, not out of insecurity, but out of a deep desire to become the best version of herself she can be. Her character becomes even more powerful over time because it is not static, it is dynamic, always moving toward a higher ideal. But a woman's character is also marked by her sense of authenticity. A woman who lives true to herself, who does not pretend to be someone she is not in order to fit into the expectations of others, is a woman who commands admiration. A man notices this authenticity because it is rare. In a world where many people wear masks to protect themselves or to present a curated version of themselves to the world, a woman who is unashamedly herself is a breath of fresh air. She does not try to fit into a mold, nor does she seek approval. She is content with who she is, and this authenticity draws others to her. It is in this authenticity that a woman's character becomes truly captivating. For the psyche says, if you are in truth, you are in love. When a man notices a woman's character, he is drawn not just to the person she appears to be, but to the person she is becoming. The strength of her character is what makes her truly unforgettable. It is what sustains the initial attraction and allows it to deepen into something more meaningful and lasting. The qualities that define a woman's character, her resilience, her empathy, her integrity, her dignity, are not fleeting. They are the foundation upon which lasting love and admiration are built. A man sees in her these qualities, and he is not just attracted to her, but moved by her. He is drawn to the strength and the beauty of her soul, the very core of who she is. This is what a man notices first, even if it takes time for him to fully recognize and appreciate its depth. It is in a woman's character that her true beauty lies, and it is this beauty that endures beyond the surface. When we consider the impact of a woman's words, it becomes clear that speech holds a certain power, one that extends far beyond mere communication. The way a woman speaks, the words she chooses, the tone she employs, the rhythm of her speech, can have a profound effect, not only on the listeners but also on the environment she creates. The power of a woman's words is often one of the most subtle yet undeniable aspects that first draws a man's attention. It is in the careful precision of her language, the wisdom with which she speaks, and the grace with which she conveys her thoughts, that a woman can captivate a man's heart and mind. A man notices the way a woman speaks because it is more than just the content of her words. It is the energy and the intention behind those words that resonate deeply. When a woman speaks, it is not simply to fill a silence or to make a statement. Her words carry meaning, and her intent is often to build connection, to convey something deeper, or to provoke thought. A man notices when a woman speaks with purpose, when she carefully selects her words, not to impress or entertain, but to communicate something meaningful. There is a certain power in that kind of intentional speech, one that resonates not only with the mind, but also with the soul. It is also important to recognize that the impact of a woman's words is not always about what she says, but how she says it. A woman's tone, the cadence of her voice, the way she emphasizes certain words, all of these contribute to the power of her speech. A gentle tone can be just as powerful as a strong one. It can convey warmth, reassurance, and empathy. A woman who speaks with a calm and measured voice creates an atmosphere of peace, one in which others feel heard and understood. A man notices this because it is rare to encounter such a presence. A woman who speaks with such poise and warmth is one who invites others into her world, who encourages openness and understanding without saying a word. Additionally, the way a woman listens can often be just as powerful as what she says. A woman who listens attentively to others, who gives them the space to express themselves without interruption, creates a sense of trust and respect. A man notices this kind of listening because it is a rare gift. In a world where many are quick to speak but slow to listen, a woman who truly listens is someone who stands out. Her ability to make others feel heard and valued speaks volumes about her character and her emotional intelligence. The power of her words is magnified by her ability to listen with empathy and understanding, creating a sense of reciprocity and connection that cannot be easily dismissed. What's more, a woman's words have the power to inspire and motivate. A man notices when a woman speaks with conviction, when she speaks her truth in a way that leaves a lasting impression. Whether she is sharing her thoughts on a particular issue, offering encouragement, or speaking about her own experiences, there is a strength in her words that invites others to think differently, to feel more deeply, and to act with greater purpose. A woman who speaks with conviction instills a sense of purpose in those who hear her, urging them to examine their own beliefs and to take action in their own lives. This kind of power is not loud or brash, it is subtle and undeniable, often leaving an indelible mark on the hearts and minds of those who are fortunate enough to hear her speak. Furthermore, a woman's words have the ability to heal. A kind word, a gentle reassurance, or a thoughtful compliment can go a long way in restoring someone's sense of hope or confidence. A woman who uses her words to lift others up, to offer encouragement and support, creates a space of comfort and safety. A man notices this because it is a rare and beautiful gift to have the ability to heal with words. The way a woman can calm a troubled mind, soothe a worried heart, or lift a spirit with a few simple words is a testament to the power of her speech. Her words carry with them not just the weight of her experiences, but also the warmth of her heart. And this combination of wisdom and compassion creates an atmosphere where others feel valued, respected, and loved. A woman who speaks with integrity also commands attention. Her words reflect her values, her principles, and her sense of honesty. A man notices when a woman speaks with sincerity, when her words are rooted in truth, and when she stands behind what she says. There is a power in this kind of honesty, one that is refreshing in a world that often values appearance over authenticity. A woman who speaks from a place of integrity is one who is trustworthy, and a man notices that trustworthiness. It is something that can be felt in the way she speaks, in the way she never has to apologize for what she says, because her words are a true reflection of her beliefs and her character. The way a woman speaks also reflects her intelligence and the depth of her thought. A woman who engages in thoughtful conversations, who can offer insightful perspectives and challenge others to think more deeply, is someone who naturally draws attention. Her words carry with them a certain wisdom that can only be acquired through experience and reflection. Yet, as much as it surprises someone to hear it, the truth is, speed counts a wealth in today's society. A man notices when a woman speaks with intelligence, not because she is trying to prove anything, but because her ideas have weight and substance. Her ability to engage in meaningful dialogue, to share her thoughts with clarity and purpose, is something that commands respect and admiration. It is in these conversations that a deeper connection is formed, one based not just on attraction, but on mutual respect for each other's intellect and ideas. 8. In the end, the power of a woman's words lies in their ability to reflect her character and shape the world around her. A man notices the way a woman speaks, not just because of the content of her speech, but because of the sincerity, warmth, and integrity behind it. Her words have the power to heal, to inspire, to challenge, and to build connections. They reveal her inner strength, her intelligence, and her compassion. A woman who speaks with thoughtfulness, who listens with empathy, and who shares her truth with conviction, is one whose words will always be remembered, not because of their volume or force, but because of their authenticity and the depth of feeling that accompanies them. The way a woman speaks is one of the most powerful things a man notices, because it reveals so much about who she is and the kind of world she is capable of creating.